there's a new housemate in this shithole, and I wondered if he was another gang stalker or not, or whether he was actually a victim of gang stalking himself, because a lot of the stuff in the environment around changed over the first couple of days that he lived here. You know, the noises and such outside, it really kind of ramped up after he moved in. So I wondered if he was actually a victim of gang stalking or whether he was a gang stalker. And he's lived here for maybe a month or so, a month and a half. But I got my answer yesterday. So he's made a couple of attempts while I'm in the kitchen doing my thing to kind of come in. He'll come in at the same time as me, and he's made a few attempts to speak to me, and I've always kept it kind of civil, but very made it clear that I'm not really interested in having a conversation, you know, and just carried on with doing my thing. Probably coming across as rude, but I really couldn't care when it comes to these fuckers. So yesterday he got his wish, and he managed to finally have a conversation with me. He made me laugh about something. It's always a way in with me, you know, because I enjoy laughing. I like people who make me laugh. So he began telling me about his, obviously I've got a Scottish accent, so you kind of use that as an in to use this little bit of a directed conversation at me. And he told me that his sister had two girls, you know, he had two nieces, and their father was Scottish, and he'd given them Scottish names, and one of their names was Alba, but he said Alba as in Alba, which is a Gaelic, which in Gaelic means Scotland. Alba is Scotland in Gaelic, in Scots Gaelic language. But he pronounced it like Albert, you know, because when I was pregnant with one of my children, the father of that child said if they were a boy, he wanted to name them Albert, which I laughed at and said it's just ridiculous, like I'm not calling a child Albert. But he went on to his new wife, his current wife's eldest daughter, so his stepdaughter went on to have a baby, and she named the baby Albert. So that's kind of what he was getting at, you know, by pronouncing it wrong. So he had me kind of, you know, intrigued then. So I said, well, what's the other one's name? And he said her name was Effie, as in Effie, but pronounced F-E, Effie. So F as in fuck, and E as in E being the first initial letter of my name, so Emma. So fuck Emma, F-E, Alba. I thought it was quite funny, you know. I thought it was quite funny. So I got my answer. I got my answer about is he friend or is he foe? It didn't take long. What they do is they try and surround you by these scumbags. So they'll surround you by absolute fucking trash, so that in your brain you're thinking, because I'd probably thought, I wonder if he is or whether he isn't, or maybe I'd even said it out loud. I like to have conversations, slagging them off out loud while I'm in my own room, because I know they're listening at all times, so I like to speak out loud and tell them exactly what it is that I think of them, and then I smile as they do at me as I walk past, you know. We all know what each thinks of each other, but we all pretend that it's not happening. So I'd probably said out loud, I wonder if he is one of them or not. So they want to put people like that around me constantly. They'll send people around me like that constantly. So so they want me thinking basically that the whole entire world is against me, that the whole entire world is gang stalking me. I mean, these people, they've manufactured them in my environment. This is a manufactured environment that I'm living in. This is you know, like a kind of rat maze, like I've said before. It's like a nest of scum, and they've got me right in the middle of it, but it's very much manufactured. But they need to get me thinking that every single person in the world is part of this gang stalking, and every single person in the world is against me, to get me feeling a certain way, you know. So I feel like shit, and my emotions are through the roof. So I'm scared and I'm on edge. I'm not scared. I don't fear these clowns, you know. I have a rational, normal amount of fear, but not for fucking rejects that live in this shithole. Anyway, thought that was quite funny. Scotland, fuck Emma. Okay, take care. God bless.